It's not my go-to, but I'm gonna try to change. I'm gonna try to eat more fruits and vegetables. Reduce sodium, saturated fat, and added sugars from your diet. Consider whole fruits and raw vegetables as a snack rather than those processed foods. All right. Our next speaker is Victoria Gibbons. Her speech is about a personal journey, self-discovery of the art of being tied to circumstances and choosing happiness. Please help me welcome Victoria with her speech, So It Hits.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're on a journey, and it's a difficult one. But don't worry, I want you to trust me that I will put you on a soft landing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was 13, staring out of a hospital window. It was lightly snowy, my first time in my entire life to see snow, but it was through a hospital window. I was on my graduation gift from my parents. My brother chose a motorcycle, my sister chose an organ, and I chose this Christian camp in the mountains. Second day I was there, the teenagers that were there to take care of all of us. 20-year-old took us to a mountain, and our inner tubes were in the back of the van. And I hopped on, being the second person to go down an icy incline. I flew off, I hit my forehead, I hit my back of my head, and I had a skull fracture. Broken clavicle. Sitting in the hospital room, my parents walk in, and a neurologist came in, looking at his clipboard. He said, "Folks, I see a skull fracture from when she was a toddler.
Hmm.
And then I see another one from when before she was 2 years old. Anyone know how she got it?" My parents looked at the floor and at the ceiling. The doctor, clearly perturbed, said, "Folks, she would have been asleep for 12 hours with these injuries." Anyone notice? Silence filled the room. The implication sunk on me, and slowly I started to make sense of what happened to me. This is an important speech, folks, because I'm offloading shame. Anyone have shame in the room? How about inappropriate shame? You don't know where it came from? That shame, I invite you to take my journey and maybe reflect on yours, because that shame touches every edge of your life. Your personal relationships, what you think you deserve in your career, how you treat your children, and how you treat yourself. This was my personal shame. I was told from the moment I can remember that I was the appointment my mother missed. Anyone can imagine what that meant? 1964, women were not allowed to have an abortion. My mother was a Catholic, so she arranged a back alley abortion that for whatever reason, my mother did not make. And I was born. Beautiful little girl. Starry eyes, curly hair, with love. It was so sweet and beautiful. The two pictures I have of me before I was 5. Why do I tell you this story? Because it took me till 60. I'm 60. Till I realized what happened. I was the result of an affair. It's not uncommon. Women have affairs. But back then, when you had them, the worst consequence was bringing a child that was unwanted into an existing family. Although, you know what? I think I was my father's baby. We have the same feet. How do I know that? Because when he was laying in intensive care, I massaged them. And I took close attention. there was some part of me in my father. But you know what? There was a lot of my father in me. My parents created a warrior by withdrawing all of their attention, not talking to me about their thinking. They preserved my worldview. My mother did not invest in me, did not pour into me. So guess who I reached for? Dr. Laura. She was my mother. I tuned in every day to learn how a woman with confidence and dignity moves about the world. She shaped me. I determined who mentored me. And I learned the greatest error was shaping my worldview and my well-being on my circumstances. You see, what they did is they made me, as a teenager, investigate how do I separate myself from the environment I was born in. I picked up a book called Passages. Any therapy? Any therapists here? That's a college level book I was reading in 10th grade about relationships, constructs of relationships. And guess what? It talked about speaking. So this is full circle, folks. Getting untied to your circumstances means that you develop your circumstances through the spoken word. And guess what? I went into debate team in high school. I raised my hand. I opened my mouth. And the most amazing thing happened. I found out that I could construct an argument with emotion, because you see, my parents shaped me how to do that. With intense emotion, I was silent in my home, but I knew how to operate my brain and calm down. Without even knowing it, my parents made me into a public speaker. That's the gift. When you untie your circumstances to your well-being, you allow yourself to reap the rewards of what would normally be a negative experience. Guess what, folks? If you look hard enough, you will find a jewel in that. In the worst form of abuse and neglect, you can find attributes that normally would never develop in that environment. That's what Passages told me. It's a book about learning how to cultivate through life, where there is diversity, the hidden ability to develop an ability. That's a life skill. So whether you're on a hill in battle and you're afraid, to learn how to act through fear is something that you don't learn unless you're in battle. So I learned how, through my work, to be in battle. They made me into a warrior. Now, am I grateful for my parents? Hell no. No. But am I grateful for the fact that whoever mentored me was in a spirit form? Because there was nobody physically there to mentor me. I heard a voice that later I would learn would be my God. God visited me in the spirit in the early hours of the morning. Before I would wake, I would hear, be well, be at ease. Nothing has gone wrong here. And I can tell you that from someone who's used Toastmasters to finally find my voice, I can say, in the event of any human experience, stepping away from it just a moment, you'll find a fresh opportunity for something beautiful to come from it. And I mean everything. Death, war, deprivation of every kind is not the end of anyone. It is sometimes the beginning of something else if you are open to something emerging that's useful. I believe that book that I read when I was in 10th grade was opening up the beautiful love of people outside of family of origin that I have replicated. My father, my mother, siblings, aunties and uncles from all different areas. I was untied to who I was born into to cultivate family. So I was able to draw from all of what I saw in my life, the things I needed. And I won't say it was an easy life. I wouldn't probably wish my life on my enemies. That's the beauty of what happened. Is that I could wish no harm on even those who perhaps wished me not to be born.